Good day everyone, Leo Chase from Mythmaster here with a fun little video. At the time of writing this, I just finished watching Andor Season 1 about 10 minutes ago, and then I was trying to sum up the first season to somebody, but I found that I couldn't. So I decided to come here and see how long it would take me to sufficiently sum up Season 1. I haven't watched Season 2 yet, but am planning to very soon. If you do enjoy this video, consider liking, subscribing, and commenting. And if you don't, then comment what kind of videos you'd like me to make, and like and subscribe if you feel like it. At the end, I'll tell you my 4 favourite Star Wars characters. I will tell you my 3 favourite, but I can't narrow it down between the 4. But anyway, let's begin. So, we have Andor, a pseudo-con artist and scammer who is trying to find his sister. We'll find out that he was basically abducted as a child by Marva, this lady who you may recognise as Aunt Petunia. On a distant planet, he gets in a scuffle with 2 corrupt officers and ends up killing them before fleeing to Ferrix, which is where he lives. Cyril Khan is an Imperial officer who finds out that the system is corrupt, so goes against orders and leads a squad of soldiers to Ferrix to get justice for the dead officers. Andor gets his friend Bix to contact a smuggler who we'll later learn is called Luthen, and after a shootout against the Empire, Luthen takes Andor to the planet Aldani and drops him off to help with a rebel heist along with his character Val, who we'll get back to later. The heist kind of goes according to plan, but basically everyone there dies, and after heading home and trying to convince his kind of mother Marva to come with him, Andor runs away to a holiday resort planet, where he's arrested but for a completely different crime which he didn't even commit. Just pausing the timer to say, sorry about my voice, I'm a bit under the weather, but I wanted to record this and get it out pretty quickly, so yes. So Andor gets sent to a prison with an insanely long prison sentence where he meets Andy Serkis. After the Aldani heist, the Empire's cracking down, and Andor and Andy Serkis find out that when a prisoner's sentence is up, they're just sent to another prison. This leads to one of the best sequences of the show, which is a humongous prison break where the only objective is to get as many people out alive as possible. Then there's a moment which should not be as sad as it is, when we find out Andy Serkis' character can't swim. Over the past 3 episodes, we've grown strongly attached to him, so this is very sad, and he's just left at the prison, presumably to get killed. Andor goes back to the resort planet where he gets a call telling him his mother is dead, and he goes back to Ferrix for her funeral, which is what the final episode is all about. The other main characters, Cyril, Luthen, Val, and an ISB supervisor called D. Ramiro, who we'll get to later, are also there, and everyone's trying to kill Andor. The only main character who isn't there is Mon Mothma, yes, the lady from the original trilogy, who was also in Revenge of the Sith. In the series, she's a senator on Coruscant who's funding rebel operations, but she knows the Empire's suspicious of her, so she gets in contact with a banker from her home planet, who I'm pretty sure is ahead in a Doctor Who episode, and he tries to help her, but with the Empire cracking down, she ends up needing to get her 14-year-old daughter engaged to the son of a crime lord, banker, and it seems like she's also going to throw her husband under the bus as well. Most of the characters, apart from B, one of the best characters in the show, are morally grey to some extent, but all of them are trying to do the right thing from their point of view, usually no matter the cost. This brings me nicely back to Cyril, who is fired after failing to catch Andor and disobeying orders, but when he's not depressed at home with his mother, is trying to find out as much as he can about Andor, and trying to get back onto the case even though he was told multiple times to stay away from it. He kind of stalks our next character, Dee Ramiro, but ends up saving her life. Dee Ramiro is probably this season's overall villain, and she rises up in prominence in the ISB after finding links between various crimes and basically theorizing that there is a concentrated rebel effort, which there is. She has no qualms against torture, and her motives seem to be doing her duty and gaining power. Deidre has no respect for people she sees as lesser, such as Cyril for most of the season, and the population of Ferrix in the last 3 episodes. Our final main character is Luthen, played by the fabulous Stellan Skarsgård, who is the main rebel in the show, working behind the scenes and normally keeping himself as private as possible, as he pulls strings and talks to different rebel factions. One of his best moments is when he talks to Dee Ramiro's right-hand man, who is revealed to be a mole in the ISB. The mole, Lonnie, tells Luthen that the ISB knows about a rebel attack, but Luthen basically says that he won't tell the rebel faction who's doing the attack, as it would show there was an ISB mole. Luthen's main goal in the series after the Aldani heist is that Andor should die, as he is a loose end that could lead back to Luthen. The speech Luthen gives to Lonnie is basically about the cost of war, etc., and helps the viewer understand him more. Stellan Skarsgård plays him perfectly as a grizzled rebel and Coruscantian shop owner who collects and sells artifacts and art pieces. Luthen is on Ferrix in the final episode, along with Val, who is also Mon Mothma's cousin by the way, and Cindy, who's another rebel who was on Aldhani and survived, and has been watching over Ferrix in the latter half of the season, and they are all there to kill Andor before the Empire can get to him, at Marva's funeral. Marva's funeral involves a holographic speech from her when she inspires a rebellion which throws everything into chaos. Andor rescues Bix from where she had been tortured and interrogated and sends her safely along with Bee and some other friends, and Cyril saves Dee Ramiro's life in the riot that has ensued. Val, Cinta, and Luthen basically do nothing in the episode, but the episode ends with Luthen finding Andor on Luthen's ship and Andor basically saying, "Kill me or let me join you." And given that there's a season 2 and we know what happens to Andor in Rogue One, we know that Luthen accepts Andor's offer. That summary was not as long as I'd expected, clocking in around 5 minutes 3 seconds, and to be fair, I probably could have gone into less detail, so could have been even quicker. If there's any movies or shows you'd like me to do this for, comment them down below. I promised you my favourite Star Wars characters, so here they are: Obi-Wan Kenobi, Princess Leia, Emperor Palpatine, and Darth Vader. I hope you enjoyed this quick impromptu video. Have a good day, and ta-ta.